I think it's time to play, and I think it's a good thing for our guys. It's a good thing for us as a coaching staff to have somebody to go out and play and to get under the lights and just really see how we do. This team is going to be a continual work in progress. We've got a lot of work to do. We see things that we like, and we're encouraged by, probably more so than anything, that we feel like we make a little progress every day. And if we tell the guys we have to focus on something, there's a great effort to go out and do that in practice, and we feel like we get better at it. We always have to then come back to it again. But I think it's a team that is going to be like that as the year goes on, and we have an awful lot of work to do. But it's going to be good to get out and play somebody else. And then I think it's going to be good to have the kind of challenge we'll have in Kentucky Wesleyan with a team that returns some key guys, a couple of which are terrific scorers for them. They're obviously very well coached, and they've got a little bit under their belt, and having scrimmage and or played an exhibition type game, and so we'll go out and we'll see how all those things go tomorrow. We'll have all of our bodies available. Demontri's been able to work back into practice, and has been cleared as full go, and I don't know that he's anywhere near at his best or where he's going to get to because he was out for several weeks, but everybody will be available, and it'll be a situation where tomorrow when it's time for the game to start, we'll have 5 guys out there. No, I don't know who they are right now. We're going on practice performance and how those things go and some other variables. And as I've said before, to me it doesn't matter a lot. I know it matters to a lot of people. I'm not sure it matters all that much to our guys, to be honest with you. And it could be a fluid thing that might change or it might not. I think the bottom line is for us to be our best. There are several guys, many more than 5 anyway, are going to have to play more than 15, 20 minutes a game. And so I think that's important, mindset for us to have as a team moving forward. But we're excited about it, and I think our guys especially are ready to get out and play, and we'll do like we've been doing in practice every day. We'll prepare, and we'll go out and we'll play, and we'll see what we need to get better at, and come back the next day and go back to work.
Darrin, will you have like a game plan for the gamers that pretty much just kind of go out and see what everybody can do, and since it's their first action on the floor?
Yeah, I think it's more, especially early in the season, really in any game, it's more about what you do. And we'll really have that mindset all year long, to be honest with you, Dave, that, what do we need to be focused on to be our best? And the thing that we keep talking about with our guys that will be, again, a continued thing that we have to learn and grow and get better at is, doing what you do individually and doing it with consistency so that we can count on that every night. And that's been a real push and an emphasis for us in practice. And I think for the most part there's been a good focus on that, and they've done a good job with it. But tomorrow will be much more about ourselves and focusing on that, as really it will be all year long. I think more so than any specific thing with the game plan.
With this being an exhibition game and you having such a young team, do you look at the tape after the game and kind of use that as where do you want to go for the rest of the season in terms of how you rotate players in and out?
Yeah, I think we'll play it like a game, which means we'll start with some 5 and start making some substitutions and see who's playing well and how guys work together and what's going on with the flow of the game and score and time and score and all those kind of things. And we'll use it like we will throughout the year of how it went, to learn from it and teach from it. And that I don't know that we'll make any decisions that'll be set for the year moving forward, based on an exhibition game. But I think we'll approach it like we will any other game in terms of our preparation and how we evaluate it and how we move forward after it.
You had mentioned that there are some things that you felt the team had improved on during practice, and some things you need to work on. What are some of those things?
Yeah, I think offensively, we're sharing the ball really well, and that's something that's got to be a huge focus for us. I think, again, I don't know that we're having a guy that's going to go out and get us 20 every night, but I think collectively, we feel like we've got a pretty good skill set and several guys that are capable of doing some things, and just sharing the basketball, making the extra pass, those kind of things. That's been good. Again, you get out under the lights, and sometimes that kind of stuff goes out the window. So, but that's been a real positive. And I think defensively, our effort has been a real positive. We've got a long way to go before we're good defensively, and I would stand here and tell you that. But I think, as I mentioned, focusing on a particular aspect on a given day, we've done a good job of trying to carry that out and get better in those areas. The one big thing that's not going as well as it's going to need to, and I don't think this is a surprise to us, but it's apparent. We've got to be better at rebounding the basketball. We've got to be a team that I think offensively we could be an outstanding rebounding team. Defensively, we're going to have to really focus and commit to being a good lockout team and hitting people and being aggressive and gang rebounding at all 5 guys. and all of those kind of things. And we've got to make major strides in that area. So that'll be interesting to see tomorrow.
Are there any particular things that you took out of the scrimmage the other day that you really learned from?
Again, it's one time. It's early. I think we approached it like we will tomorrow night or any other game that we play this year. I think we took some positives individually from a few things that happened and how some guys played and some things they did. I think we learned some stuff about things we need to get better at and all those boring things that coaches talk about. But I don't know that I would zero in on any one or two particular things with it being scrimmages early in the year.
I guess Leonard in particular was a name I heard maybe looked pretty good.
In particular?
Yeah, he might have stood out, so I'm asking you.
As you know, I'm not allowed to comment on how a scrimmage went or any particulars with that. But I think all of our guys in general have done pretty good. And again, what is perceived as good and what is good, sometimes they're two different things. Damian's going to have a lot of nights where he makes shots because he can do that, and he's going to look really good, and we may evaluate the film and not be as happy with how he played as kind of maybe the general public might be. I wouldn't take any negatives away from our experience over the weekend in terms of, well, that guy was awful, we didn't get anything out of him. I just, and again, when that does happen, I think, it's important as a coaching staff more so than anything to keep in mind and understand that we've got two guys that have really kind of been through this, and everybody else, even though we've got several sophomores that had quite a bit of playing time last year, still a continual work in progress and still learning. And so, we're trying to approach it that way, and they've responded really well to it to this point. And again, we'll see how it goes tomorrow.
With Damian and Anthony, for freshmen, are they ahead of the curve, a little bit behind the curve? Where do you place them right now heading into this?
That's a really good question, Bill. I think in general, mentally, they're a little further along than a lot of freshmen are just because they've got a great deal of confidence in what it is that they do and how they play the game. And they both approach it that way every day. And I think that they're a little further along, in all honesty, than I thought they would be in terms of just the normal freshman adjustments, especially on the defensive end. It's always a challenge, I think, for guys. That being said, they have their moments and do some things, and we're more focused on, again, the stuff that maybe everybody else isn't focused on. I was watching film the other night of practice, and during practice I'm more focused on the defense and effort and some of those kind of things. And I didn't realize Damian had hit like 6 threes in a practice. That's not really that important to me right now. That's what he does. We feel like he'll do that. Some nights better than others, but getting him better at those other things, like we focusing on with every player, is the important stuff, and they've both been really pleasant surprises in that area.
You talk about Damian and his shooting, but what is it about Anthony Gill people should look for that excites you? Is it his IQ? Is it his scoring ability, his defense? What is it that you really like that he can help with this year?
Yeah, he's just a player. And I know that sounds kind of vague or whatever, but he's just a basketball player. He does a little bit of everything. He does have a good feel and understanding. He's physically ready. I mean, he finishes things with people hanging on him sometimes and that kind of thing. And he's just a basketball player. I just think our fans are really going to appreciate the way he plays and the things that he does. And to their credit, to all of our new guys' credit, Brent Williams included, they've been phenomenal teammates. They try to do the right thing. They're really trying to become good defenders. And those are all real positive signs. And a big part of that is the leadership that we've gotten from Malik Cook and Lakeem Jackson, which has been exemplary so far.
Darrin, looking over the course of your career as a head coach, does this team remain maybe more of a mystery as far as, with all the new guys, as far as what you're going to get when the lights come on, the people in the stands, and how they're going to work together on the court?
I think to some degree, Rick, but I think some of that is just based on, you haven't been through enough. We have a better understanding of what we think we're going to get from sophomores, but, at the end of the day, especially at this level, you got to go out and do it consistently. So I think there is some of that. I don't know if it's question marks in terms of what they can or can't do. It's getting them to do it consistently. But I'll say, as I've been saying, until it changes, I'll be honest with you, that this has been an incredibly fun team to coach because of their attitude and their work ethic, and maybe because some things aren't as clear cut. And there is a great deal of versatility, and we will be counting on the whole and sort of the sum of the parts being greater than the whole. More so than you do in some other years.
Anybody else?